Alright, so I'm going to tell you about some events that happened this week at the hotel. Actually, last night, and was probably one of the biggest events that's ever happened to me personally in this hotel. But there were 5 other witnesses. I've actually had to make this video several times because of things that have happened in this room during the recording. Me trying to record this video. And I'll show you some of those here in a second. But right here in this area, back behind me, that would be me and 5 other guests that were staying here, were investigating this room. And I heard the loudest disembodied voice I've ever heard in my life. And we're going to call this room Room X. You can probably figure it out what room it is, but I'm kind of hesitant at this point to tell people what room it is because I don't want anybody provoking whatever this energy was. It was pretty strong. Well, let me first back up a couple nights. I'm going to show you some footage. We had a guest downstairs. Turn this down a little bit. And you'll see a flash here in a second, right there. So that caught my cameras, and I thought, okay, well, the flash, could have been from that window caused by a headlight, right? But he didn't notice it, and I thought, that's kind of weird he didn't notice it. So I pulled it up. Here's what it actually was. Pool table light came on. Now, this was 2:28 a.m., and something was going on about this time because there was also a person upstairs, which was, let's see, right here. This was about 2 a.m. And he's walking, and he came to me the next day and said, can you pull this footage up? I know you have cameras. And I said, sure. Well, he hears what I guess is like a coin drop. Listen to this. So that's his flashlight. He was really quick with it. I believe he was a police officer. That's what he told me, but it happened quick. So they said they searched, couldn't find anything, and couldn't, didn't. They found an object. I think it was a button that was on the ground, but it didn't make the same noise, so they kind of threw that off as not what was making the noise. So they couldn't figure that out. So that was the first night. Second night, things got crazy. They asked me to join them during a little ghost hunt. So I got some equipment. They got some equipment. We're walking downstairs, and actually, first let me back up. We go upstairs. This is gonna be a long video. I apologize, but we go upstairs and enter an area we call the Paratorium here at the hotel. We rent it out to certain guests. There's a disappointments room. If you don't know what that is, look it up. We have a real one here at the hotel. So we're up there investigating, and there's a female sitting right by the disappointments room, and she had her arm pulled back, like her elbow got yanked back. We saw it happen. We heard the chair move. It was pretty dark up there, but they're reviewing their cameras, and they're going to get back with me to see if they actually caught this movement. But we witnessed it. And so she moved out of the chair. Someone else got in it and to try to experience that. And so we didn't catch that. But in the room that we're currently sitting in, I'm going to show you some pictures, some audio, some video. I wish I caught the disembodied voice. I didn't. And it's really weird why I didn't, because we had an old tape recorder actually sitting right here on the ground, right there. It was one of those analog tape recorders that had, analog tape. And I'm standing here. There's a female there, male over here, another female, and then myself. And we're all noticing that the EMF detector that's on this bed is going off crazy. So we turn the lights off. We're trying to debunk as best we can. But what drew us to this room is that it was 40-something degrees on the temperature. Well, we have a sensor right here, right? And it was about the same temperature last night. It's reading 64. So that's reading 64, and it was 46 in here, and it was super cold. You could feel it, the difference between this room. So we entered this room, and that's, EMF went off. Well, I killed the power, actually, in this room. I went upstairs, and we actually, killed the power to it to see if the EMF detector would stop, which it didn't. It got even crazier. It was only in this area right here. I think it got up to like a 7, maybe an 8 at its highest, but still, the hotel is pretty flat. Well, we're all standing here, and all of a sudden, the female that's sitting in this chair is looking over here saying that this closet right here, which is actually a bathroom, but you can't really tell sitting here in the dark, but she said the closet gave her an uncomfortable feeling, and she wanted to get up. So as soon as she stood up, we all witnessed this loud, strong, powerful voice that said no. And it was super deep, and it was like a no, super quick no. I mean, it was the craziest voice I've ever heard. And we all look at each other in disbelief because we knew it didn't come from her. I'm looking at everybody. We could tell it was pinpointing in that area where she was at. The other, 3 other people had on some headphones, and they were pretty powerful headphones with microphones and things, and so they heard it 5 times as loud as we did. We're looking around each other and notice like tears are coming from our eyes because we just witnessed something that we know was paranormal. Like there was no we tried to debunk it, we could not, and it was just one of the craziest experiences I've ever had. Well, it gets crazier than that because I'm thinking in my head, okay, we caught it on our analog tape recorder. So I'm excited. And that was like a split second after it happened. The tape recorder stopped. We heard it go click. And so I'm thinking, okay, whatever this is, just stop the recording or it's the end of the tape. Coincidentally, it ended up being the end of the tape. We looked at it and like, look, I was nowhere near it. We put it on the bed, rewound it, listened to it, hoping that maybe we caught it, and we didn't catch it. And so I'm thinking, okay, that voice was pretty loud. We probably caught it in our hallway cameras. I go to pull up the hallway cameras, and the SD cards didn't record. So I'm like, what is going on? Why would that happen? Well, thinking about it today, I forgot I had killed the power in the hotel into this room, which powered those cameras, which when they started over, they didn't reformat it itself, basically. But good thing is we have a little bit of backup for that, and we have a vent recording which goes to the cloud. We didn't catch the voice, but we definitely caught something weird. This is 3:29, and one of the guys had told me, he said, hey, it's like 3:30. He timestamped it. I thought that was pretty cool of him because then, we could look back. Well, you're going to hear something here at the exact moment we heard that voice. I'm convinced that's what it is. Like, we could hear it just right there. And that was at about 26 seconds in. Whatever this is, it manifested in the hall, and then you're going to hear us kind of go crazy in the room because of what just happened, the experience. But here's the noise. Right there. Now listen to us. Almost immediately, you can hear chattering behind the wall. This is the wall right here where the room would be. And we're about to get louder and louder and louder because we're in such disbelief. So you can hear all the emotion going on. Well, during all that stuff, I took pictures. I was taking snapshots. And here's one I took that was kind of weird. This is the mirror, which I'll show you where it is in a second. And you could see a face or something there, and also like a little veil. Yes, it's a mirror. Yes, I was using a flash. Could it be what we call matrixing? It could be our minds, creating patterns, whatever. But I'll show you the mirror in a second. I took back-to-back photos, and look at this. It changes a little bit. Even blocks out the light somewhat there. Did we capture an entity? I don't know. This is one of those things where we're not going to try to make you believers out of this. This is just, we're trying to show you our experiences. So let me show you. This is the photo, the first photo, second photo. The other ones were zoomed in. So when we heard the voice, I wanted to take a picture of that area just to see what we captured, and that's kind of what it is. So here's where I'll show you the mirror. Let me turn it around. There's the mirror right there. I was standing about right here, took the photo, and yeah, you can see there's smudges and some things. So, you can't rule that out, of course, but the face is kind of what I was referring to, because that is just freaky looking right there. So I'll leave it to you to believe what you want. I know what we heard, and there's nobody that's going to be able to tell me that wasn't. That was just the craziest thing. And there were 5 other witnesses. I'll try to get them to, maybe talk about it, and we'll post a video with them. But one last thing real quick. So this is, I told you, a couple attempts of me trying to shoot this video. The first time I couldn't shoot it real well because the audio didn't line up with my voice. She was freaked out for the rest of the night. I redid it. But I'm talking about this mirror snapshots again in this video, and I hear all of a sudden water turn on. And I'm like, that's weird. And here's what happened. Same shot. So could I tell you that's a spirit of what we captured? No. Can't tell you that. That was weird. Okay. Sorry, I'm sitting here in the room and just heard water running in here. Shouldn't have been running. Oh. Okay, that should not be on. That's interesting. Hopefully we'll be able to go back and listen and see if we heard it come on. Alright, so I did go back. I couldn't hear it come on. However, let me show you. So I was sitting here doing the video, and I heard the water turn on. And this is what it takes. This is where it was, right? Probably about right there. And I can hear it, and you can actually hear it over here. Well, look how far I had to turn that to get it to do so. So, I don't know. But that was, that happened, and a few noises happened where I had to stop recording. Oh, one last thing. Let me show you this. I'm going to do a separate video on this, but I don't know if you know Eddie the doll. If you don't, you can see him on some of the Travel Channel shows and things like that. But we actually caught some footage of Eddie moving again. And this is the first time I've seen him move on camera in the hotel. Watch this. This is pretty cool. There's Eddie in his case. There he goes. There he goes. And finally, he rests up against the glass. So, what time was this? 5 in the morning. Like I said, I'm going to do a separate video with that, but wanted to show you guys. That was some crazier footage with Eddie. So, thank you for watching. Sorry it was long. Sorry it's in portrait mode, but that's the way I had to shoot this video. And I might tell you what room it is. You can probably see on the website, but I just don't want anybody coming here provoking whatever that is, because it's a strong energy. I'm here to tell you. I've witnessed a lot of things in my life, and whatever that voice was that didn't want us in here, that said no, it was more powerful than anything I've ever experienced. And usually things in the paranormal are not powerful. Like that's why I've never been afraid of it. because, it's very little energy that I've ever experienced. I've seen things move and whatever, but never been hurt, harmed, or had any fear. And last night was the first time I have ever, had some fear with whatever this voice was. But I wish I had a little more evidence to back it up. But I just wanted to share my experience with it. So, yeah, if you have any other questions, email us, historicjefferson@yahoo.com, or you can comment on this video or just send us a message.